Hello and welcome back everybody to part 3 of the EK20 project, and today we're going to be cracking on with the suspension, which is part 2. So I released part 1 already, which was all kind of, I went in a lot of detail in that video. I realised when I was editing, obviously I don't know if people are going to like that or not, because in technical, the technical is great. I like go into a lot of detail, but I realised that I didn't get a lot actual progress done in that video. So in this video, we're gonna get a lot more done, and just an awesome update from the future. Because the footage you're about to see is from like a few months ago. I've been slacking and just been very busy at work, and it's been settled into the garage really well now. It's like 2 months now into the job. So yeah, this is great perks working with a friend, I guess. We're gonna get all the suspension off in this video from all the footage that I've gone over. It's all gonna come off. You're gonna see all the bits come off, and yeah, big update is that I've ordered my clutch and my shifter now as well. So that was like, apart from the racing circuit ECU like chipping and the plug-and-play harness you need to buy from them, which is like £400-500, like the shifter and the clutch and stuff like that. I thought I had a clutch, and I swear I did. I must have threw it out over the time, you know, which is quite annoying, but I guess I'm now going to be safe because I bought a genuine one from Tegwa, which is an XED, and it's a really good brand, XED. So yeah, I'm going to be confident in the clutch. It's not going to have any problems, you know. And yeah, that's already been delivered. So today is what is today? Let me see. Today is the 30th of July. So yeah, like I'm so far ahead. You know, making intros for a video I made like 2 months ago. So it's wild, isn't it? So yeah, I'm just gonna crack on with it all now. Like from now on, you're gonna see all the videos coming. I've still got all the steering rack stuff, the subframe stuff to release, but and obviously the installation of it now. I need to, now that I've got my clutch, obviously I'm gonna keep recording the content and just keep slowly editing it and releasing it, and yeah, and clutch is here, which means I can put the engine in, I can put the gearbox in. So just bear with me, the content will keep coming out. And again, yeah, sorry for the shit editing. Editing is just shocking, mate. Honestly, I've been looking and I keep going over and over it, and I just haven't got time. So I just quickly put it together. I like kind of do what best as I can in time I'm given, and then just, you know, I am slowly starting to play with effects and different stuff like this, just to make it more like, just kind of make the quality go up, you know. But at the same time, I do like the kind of whole like rawness of it. Like I said, I'm all about the whole one take thing. I don't really have a plan. I just kind of go with the wave and just make it work. It's kind of what, like, I like all the Mighty Car Mod stuff, and you know, it's all like when they do the one take stuff, that's probably my favourite like style when they do that. Which, you know, sometimes they obviously do massive like 1 hour long videos, so sometimes I'm looking at my own edits and I'm like, oh, like it's like half an hour long, is it going to be like too boring? But you know, so if people want to watch it and like learn something from it, it's definitely positive, you know. So yeah, let's crack on. I'm going to skip now to the footage I have had from a few months ago, and finish off that suspension, and then yeah, I can then start cracking on with editing the who's this? This guy's splurring, bro. Jesus, people like just go crazy down my work road. Yeah, just crack on and I can start now editing the next one, which is the removal of the subframe, and kind of go over that. So yeah, alright, cheers guys, thank you for watching, and yeah, let's get the suspension off. Alright guys, so continuing on from the other clip, I had to leave it because it's getting dark and started raining in the end, so now we're back at it when the weather's good. So in the last clip I was able to take off, I can show you guys, we've got the little pin out of here, and we clean this up, so this should just come right out with a gun. And then we're going to do exactly the same this time down in here. I don't know if you can see this, let me get the camera in there, and that is going to be here. I'm going to get that down here. I'm going to get this pin out this time, and then clean all this up, and then what we're going to do is now unbolt this, free up this. We're going to free up the top, and obviously we're going to take out this here, the drive shaft bolts, and we're going to loosen up all the bits for the caliper and get everything. Basically we're going to get everything freed up, so it's almost like we're going to take this whole bit off, the whole knuckle off, and the whole disconnector with the suspension, and the massive nut under here as well for the lower arm. We're going to disconnect everything, and for the as I mentioned in the other clip as well, I've already cleaned these up, so going to undo the shocks and everything. What I'll do is I might just do the bolts from the top on the shock absorber as well, if we can just get everything removed and out, what I'll do is obviously I'll it's pretty simple stuff, so I'll quickly get that done, and then we'll cut to the bit where it's all off, and then we're going to move on to the next bit. I did mention in the other clip I'm going to do the other side off camera, because obviously it's the same what I've explained so far in this video, but just repeated, and that way we can obviously get out that drive shaft and get out the other drive shaft and take this caliper off, get it all cleaned up, because what it is, I want to try and drop this subframe as quick as I can, because I am looking forward to restoring that subframe myself. In the end, I was choosing between getting it powder coated professionally or doing it myself, but I think I'm just going to clean it up, wire wheel it, and grind it with a sand disc and with a grinding disc and a wire wheel on my angle grinder, and just, you know, under seal it myself and protect it from all the cavities inside with my own wax oil, which I have got, and I've got the kit from Halfords as well for the wax oil. Right, got one little like mid vid update, I guess job. This is why I explained in the clip before, when I was working on the car the other day. It's like the wiring, like wire wheel, like the bolts, and get the rust off before, like, rather than just use WD-40 and just like keep the crud on and then WD-40. This nut, like, I literally just got a little spanner. So this is a this is for the top of the, this is the bolt here I'm doing, this one here, this top one here for the arm, and it's a 17mm. Like, I didn't have to use nothing big, nothing, no pressure, no force. Got my 17 on it, bang, straight off, and then I got it big going with the ratchet, and then the nut, as you can see how clean it is, and the threads on the actual ball joint. I was able to just unscrew the nut with my hands. So again, no fighting rust. Like, and this is a 1997 like car, and obviously it's been a shell for a while. I don't know how long the guy who I bought it off has been, you know, it's been sat in his driveway or his back of his garden we picked it up from. Yeah, I don't know how long it was sat in there before that. So the fact that I was able to clean up the threads and just, yeah, and unscrew the nut with my bare fingers. But I'm hoping, you know, that obviously the rest of the car goes this smoothly, but just that small little wire wheel, like, makes that much of a difference. And then obviously then I can reuse these, they're not damaged at all. Like, the threads on these are mint, and yeah, and just thought I mention it, because that little bit of like effort extra just comes a long way, you know, especially when you're doing it across the whole car. You're not going to be kicking off because you can't get rust off, you know, and stuff like that. So yeah. Right, so after 10 minutes of just gunning off the bolts, just moving my tools out of the way. After 10 minutes of just going off the bolts and taking the caliper off, we've got the caliper over here and the carrier. So look, so you can see it's pretty. Let me get a better angle for this. There you go. Yeah, as you can see, they're pretty crusty. Yeah. Luckily the actual caliper wasn't seized. So, but we've got the carrier here. It's actually loose. I've just got it one bolt here at the back holding it on, because what I did is I just wedged my screwdriver in here and then used my flathead. No, sorry, that's my flathead in here. I've used my Phillips, which is right behind me over here. That's not the right one. Where is it? Oh, there you go. Yeah, so I used my my Phillips, bang, you know, in there, and taking out little screws. I've got my little organizer here for the bolts, so these are going to be able to do with you know, the suspension. Where are the little bolts? So another thing as well is these are the bolts. Not every car has this, but these are the bolts, the Phillips heads that obviously go into these holes here on the disc, and they're really easy to strip. So what I do is, obviously, like in the last video as well, 3 days ago, I obviously cleaned all this set with my wire wheel, and then yeah, then I've got my Phillips in there, and I just I give it a good smacks with the hammer to loosen it up, and you know, to get it all like kind of take the, you know, shock the rust in the way. And then it came straight off, and then obviously I wedged this against the disc, because the disc is actually vented. So yeah, I've just stuck in there so it wedges against the carrier bracket, and just use the force of my hand. There is a tool I have as well in case these don't want to come off, and then you can bang it and then it turns as you bang it. But yeah, but luckily I've got away with just you know, being able to, there you go, being able to get them off without much problems. And it's good because obviously a few days ago I prepared it for all this, you know. I didn't spray it down with WD-40. I just literally, like in that video, I did get lucky because it didn't rain, so I didn't have the chance to like kind of rust it all back up. But I cleaned up all the threads, I'm quite lucky as well that just with my gun, the carrier bolts here in the back and everything just came off. I'm surprised as well actually that the pins, they actually, oh, this one's seized. Oh, it's not seized, it turns but it doesn't want to move in and out. But I'm surprised both of them are not seized. And yeah, take the disc off. This one disc. Check this wheel bearing. Well, it'd be a bit hard because obviously the drive shaft's in there, but just for any plate this side to side. No. And because this drive shaft, I'm not sure yet if I'm going to be able to reuse this cup. It'd be quite nice if because in one of the videos, I think in my introduction, now that I've watched back the footage, I think is my mistake, so I apologise for that. I said that I have to change the inner cups, so if I were to use this skinny drive shafts, I'm going to call them skinny drive shafts for the EK. The skinny drive shafts for the EK were if I was going to use them, because then I could just keep them everything, you know, as it was. But then again, the length of them, I'm not sure. But let's say if they do lengthwise fit, then the outer cup I won't need to change because it goes straight into this wheel bearing. But then obviously on the gearbox end, I'll change the cup if it fits again with the when I open it up, you'll see how the CV joint works. But if it all is compatible, then I'll be able to just change the cup from the FN2 onto the EK drive shaft and then click it into the gearbox. But because obviously this drive shaft's all hacked up and because obviously we're putting so much more power through, you know, the drive shafts, and the engine's going to produce more power than the 1.4 would. Ideally, obviously the goal is to use the FN2 drive shafts, which are a lot more thicker. And yeah, in that way, I was about to smash this. I was thinking about it. I was gonna just smash this out, like I don't care. It's not gonna be used. But really, it's the inner cups that one's missing, and the other one's just completely cut in half. But you know, we have to get more cups anyway, so it's fine. So the CV cups, the inner one, it would be the one I'd be able to destroy and just smash up if I had to, like something, you know. But the fact that it's really missing it off, I'm actually going to try save this one and the other side one as well, because of the where they've just cut drive shaft in half. That doesn't matter. It's the actual CV joints that hopefully reusable. I could save them and then put the FN2 drive shaft into this CV joint, so then it can just go straight into the splines for the wheel bearings for the EK. And then I'm now what I'll do is, obviously taking this bolt off, I'm going to screw the bolt on ever so slightly, which is actually right here. There we go. What we do is I had to tap it. I don't know if you can see, I had to tap it with a hammer because obviously someone, you know, you lock them in for safety so they don't back out while driving from the vibrations. But I've not made it too much of a mess. It's cracked a little bit here, but again the whole nut overall is solid, so it should be okay to reuse, to even reuse them. I don't think it'd be a problem, you know. We just, if we can just get it to bend at a new corner, it's no problem. But worst case scenario, we can always get these new anyway, so it doesn't matter. So yeah, put that on there. If anything as well, I'd rather mash up the nut than the actual threads on the drive shaft, because then it's really going to be a problem. What I'm going to do is back this out a bit, and then just I think now I'm not looking at it, I could have stuck I don't have a chisel with me right now, so I could stick a chisel in the hole, and then obviously, like, if we get lucky, if it's not so rusty, then just back it out. If we were in a garage, I would have just, if I had an air compressor, I would have literally just went for the easy option and used my air hammer, my Maxwell's air hammer, just, you know, with the amount of force that thing creates, it would have just back this out like a, you know, piece of cake. So yeah, what I'm going to do is just maybe sacrifice this nut, and it went down with the threads, and then we just have to get new drive shaft nuts, which is not a problem. So let me get my massive Thor hammer out. Okay, ready? We've got Thor. We're going to see, let me just back this out just over so slightly. There you go, yeah, so the nut is moved backwards. So now, it was tight at the beginning, it was tight where before it was like loose, so I knew it went backwards. Back this out there again. There we go. And now, that it's loose, then I should be able to just tap it out. Just like that. So it's still stuck in there. What it is, I have an old screwdriver. Lucky, if you have I just realised next to me, I didn't even know I got it out, but I completely forgot about this. I've got a Halford's Advanced Snap screwdriver. which I kept for like wedging in for brakes and stuff like that. My brother didn't get it replaced, which I should do, but it's quite a handy, nice little, just just to wedge stuff in. And what we're gonna do is it actually fits in that hole perfectly well, as you can see. Oh, see, didn't even have to tap it. Usually you might have to just back it through, but I was able just to actually push it through just with my bare hands and push it out. Don't know why. I think on this car, the cup is starting to get stuck here. Let me see, the cup is starting to get stuck behind this, the actual fork. I haven't disconnected it yet. I've disconnected here and again down here for the this again, like I explained in the clip before. This came off just with my hand after a while. Again, same with this. I cleaned it up. The pin came out. I didn't have no problems removing the pin. It went all smoothly, and that's why I was making it so important. Like I'm making that grind, that cleaning up with the wire wheel so important. We should be able to just take this out, but it's getting stuck. So what I'm going to do is, I think it's quite hard to hold the camera as well on my tripod on my phone and pull this out at the same time. But what I'm thinking is there is a bit of space here. I don't know if it's just me pulling it at a funny angle, but it doesn't look like it was actually going to fit through. No. Okay, so it might be the case of having to drop this fork down and getting it out. It's quite annoying because obviously these are really simple to work on. But yeah, what we'll do is I have to disconnect all this anyways. But if you're obviously not doing this job without having to disconnect this will be a bit a pain in the ass. But yeah, what we'll do is I've got to unscrew this anyways. I've got to take it all off on the lower arm, and then I'll be able to get this drive shaft off a piece of cake anyways. But yeah, but it's this cup here, this bit here we're trying to save, so then we don't have to use the EK skinny drive shaft. We can hopefully, we'll see when it comes down to it. I've been told they just changed the cups and it all is compatible. Yeah, and it's just a case of getting this to go onto the end of the drive shaft for the FN2, and then obviously the drive shaft bang will go into the gearbox, and then this would just go straight back into the wheel bearing. Which now, let's just see. There's not actually that. Oh, these are alright, They don't wobble back and forth. They don't wiggle. They're alright. So yeah, hopefully we'll be able to reuse them and just you don't have to just again save the budget, So yeah, we're getting quite lucky. I'm going to remove this heat shield purely just because we're going to be putting new discs on them, and they rust out anyway. So the thing is, I remove them a lot. Sometimes when they're so bad and they're falling apart, I don't even say to customers to replace them because I know you should, because they direct air and help cool brakes, but to me that's such a minimal thing. All they do is rust out, and just like I had a customer of a Golf not long ago, and with his it's just a case of I yanked it off and the aluminium just all was so oxidized it just literally crumbled in my hands. And yeah, and he's been driving around for a few months now without a heat shield, and I came to look at his car the other day for a little dent he had to see if I can help him, even though I don't really do body work. But yeah, the car again had no problems with brakes or nothing like that, so these heat shields, like, to me, especially when I'm going to be using it on the racetrack, I'll make my own custom ducting, like if I have to, if they start overheating that badly. But again, I've never been on the racetrack, I've never done anything. This is all just in preps for that, because obviously it's my goal to get there, so yeah. So the thing is, taking these off is going to be a pain because the screw, the oil bearing, let me see if I can put this, the wheel bearing here, so this is little Phillips head that goes in here, and as you can see it's really rusty. So it might be a case of either I'm grinding it off, and just because we're not going to care anyways, or two, we're going to do it the clean way, is I can't go through this hole, I can't, in line with this, I can't, there's nothing I can do. So with speed, usually I think these get put on before the wheel bearing gets pressed in, because it's a press in the wheel bearing. But I'm not going to do none of that. I'm not going to be, because once you take this out and unpress this, then you've got to press the new wheel bearing in, and you can't really reuse the wheel bearing damage yet. It's kind of one use only type of thing. And yeah, so I'm going to see if I can, maybe the case of cutting this in the way, these bolts off there, that I can remove this without having to affect the wheel bearing. But yeah. Alright, so that was a little update, and yeah, I'm gonna drop this fork. I'm gonna now, in case of us undoing some more bolts, and I'm gonna have to hammer these ball joints at an angle. So usually, obviously, depending on if it's aluminium or not, but here, where's my, get a nice angle for you guys. Yeah, so here, this is obviously steel, but some cars, these are aluminium, so if you use like the big hammer like my Thor, you might end up damaging this and bending it, and then obviously you mash up the aluminium. But so I would hit here, or if I can, I'll probably put the nut back on to protect the threads, but hit right here on this actual steel, and then the shock will make this pop out from the shocking it so much. You know, same goes for the here. Just I would hit here right on the corner. But again, if it's aluminium, you might not want to use a big hammer like my Thor one. You would want to use one that's like a copper hide one or something like that. You know, copper hammer will dent your hammer rather than denting the part you're smacking. So I don't have one of them, but again, I'm working with an old Civic that's got steel parts, so for me it's not that much of a problem. Alright, cool. So just got changed because the heat was killing me out here, so put on a more exposed top, and managed to crack on, and as you can see, I just need to drop 2 bolts, actually 4 more bolts, one for this upper arm, and then one for the actual shock absorber up in the engine bay, and then what we'll do is we'll drop this lower arm as well. But we got the actual whole knuckle assembly off with this, and I've come to the conclusion, I've been thinking about it as well, that these little bolts here that hold on the shield, the heat shield, I've actually got a small little Dremel, it has a cutting disc on it, which is actually really good, the actual proper Dremel I bought from B&Q, and yeah, I'm just going to slice them off and then take them off, and we'll just leave the rest of the screw in there. There's no harm in obviously extracting them, so just cut them off, leave them in there, and that's it, bang. And if they do screw out because they've got loose from the heat, then, well, yeah, then I'll take them out. But yeah, that's what we're going to do. So this can go into kind of storage for now in my garage. I'm just looking at this lower ball joint. Let's have a look. It hasn't actually got any play in it, and it's alright, and it moves around. The grease is coming out a little bit here. It's not too bad, but let's see. But the rubber as well doesn't seem to be too cracked. So to be honest, right, I can actually leave this ball joint in here. So instead of, obviously I'm trying to reuse as much of the stock stuff as I can. So I'm just cleaning up all the, just using my rag here and cleaning up all the excess dirt and stuff. But let's see if it's cracking on the inside. Okay, so there is one little split in it, which is, now that I've cleaned it up, there's actually right here. Okay. Next is the drive shaft. We've got the drive shaft here. The CV boot isn't damaged. So this is the section that I want to save for the spline and the thread. So that's all I've been wanting to save, this bit. So we can then separate this and this drive shaft, as you can see. This is what I tried showing in the introduction. They cut the other one, and this one they decided to, and then they gave up halfway. Don't know why, but yeah. And then this is the other end, where this is the end that I thought originally, instead of changing this end, I was going to change. Well, I thought you would have to change this end originally, and then put the FN2 one here. No, if that makes sense. No, that's wrong. That's wrong. I'm getting confused. You would get, so this is the EK drive shaft. I thought you'd swap this end. As you can see, the bearings here, two of them missing, but you would put the FN2 cup on here, and then it'll click into the gearbox, and then this bit will go into the you know, will then be used in the vehicle. And this I've taken out of the passenger side, but obviously on the old engines, the gearbox and the engine, like the layout of it is, the engine is it's like backwards, so the engine will this time be facing, like, more, the engine will be, rather than the passenger side, it'd be on the driver's side. So this drive shaft, this longer one, will have to now be flipped over and then put in on the driver's side rather than the passenger side. It will be, you know, it'd be the opposite way around. But again, not going to reuse this, so we're going to keep this part, and yeah, we're going to then hopefully, the splines inside here, once we take this boot off and clean it up, they go onto the FN2 drive shaft, which again, I doubt it. I don't know how exactly that works. I need to do some research and have a go at doing it, but you know, the thickness of this drive shaft and the splines that go in here, again, the FN2 drive shafts are a lot thicker. So again, I don't see it fitting. I don't know what the guy who I saw was telling me about changing the cups or something, unless they've been doing it from this side, because obviously these bearings will fit in to the style of, because what it is like a weird, like almost triangle shape, and they should, if they just slide in and they hook. But again, I'm trying my best to use the thicker drive shaft, so we'll see when it comes to it. But I don't have that but again, I don't have that that outer CV, that bearing is like damaged, and yeah, the drive shaft has been knackered, it's cut, so I would need a drive shaft eventually. I need to get some drive shafts if that's the case. And here, and when I got to get this out, all I did essentially is when I took the knuckle off and I explained it, I just pushed down on this arm, I just pushed down on it, and then when I created the space, I was able to push the shock forward, and then through this gap I was able to separate, get the CV joint out through the gap. So the next thing is, again, drop the shock, drop the lower arm, and what I'll do is I'll start taking the arch line out, and I'm going to do a bit of recording for dropping the front bumper. Let me just move this for a second here so you can see. I started here already. The arch line is all out. I'm going to drop this bumper. I'm going to drop the headlights, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to clear some space. So then, you know, I'm going to start clear. Then we're going to take all the front end off and then start clearing the space and some of the inside components in the engine bay, and make space for the engine to come in. Right. Okay. Cool. So I've dropped the lower arm. Got the 3 massive bolts here with the people storage, and got the clamp that holds on the EK. This is the front of it just bolts into the subframe, and then the rear of it, it's got a bush, and then this is the clamp that goes underneath. And then on the arm, this is the bush. So yeah, and this gets clamped on between the subframe and that big clamp I just said here. This lower arm is quite heavy, quite big. So when I saw the arms for the, I'm going to see if I'm going to have to use this one on the EG subframe, so it all lines up. But the arms on this EG subframe were a lot lighter, well, and a lot, like, they look lighter and skinnier. So again, it'd be good if you use them arms, because we're, you know, weight saving, and obviously a lot of people use them anyway. So there's a lot of EGs out on the road, so if they're obviously got K swaps in them, and they're not snapping lower arms, and you know, they're not damaging components, I think could be the best way forward to use those EG lower arms I've got in the garage that came with the subframe that I bought. And yeah, so as you can see, all out now. The shock is out. Just move over quickly. Got the got here, got the lower arm. Well, no, upper arm. This is the upper arm. Again, I don't know, I haven't got the one from the EG for this, so I think I'm probably gonna have to reuse this one, unless I'll have to get a hold of EG ones if I use the EG lower arms. Again, I don't know how none of this is gonna line up. All I know is that Honda is a big massive like a massive puzzle, a massive Lego set. So yeah, and the ball joint on here is absolutely damaged. So it's, again, we could reuse it because there's no up and down play. It's the side is just, obviously it's worn, but there's no in and out. It doesn't move up and down. So technically, if I just wanted to get the car on the road, and when the engine's in it, just drive it, I could reuse this, just because of the budget. And then here's the whole strut assembly. The actual shock is, just checking here if it's wet. You see, it's actually dry, so this shock is actually still usable. I'll see how usable it is. If I wanted to, I could take this, put my spring compressor onto it, and then take off the nut here and separate the top mount from the spring, and then separate the spring from the shock. But again, I'm probably just going to stick these on till later on in the future in projects I can afford to get some max speed rods. I know they're not the top of the range like BC Racings, but you know, we're working on a budget, and if the car handles better than these, then max speed and rods is. And to be fair, I have actually been looking into their brand, and they've released them like they've got these kind of iconic yellow, like, you know, budget ones that you can get for like, I think it's like 400 quid, not even, maybe 200 quid, which is like really good price for coilovers. But again, they'll be really bouncy and they won't ride like BCs for like if you're paying like £1,000 for a set, you know. But they have released the ones that are it's like they're like, instead of like yellow or red, the iconic colours, they're like it's almost like they're like a black or like dark grey, and they've got like a blue accent to them. They're like the next series up, they're like the better quality ones. I'm thinking if we just saved up a little bit more, rather than going for like the basic entry level ones, we'll go for the better ones. Like, and we actually give them a chance, because, you know, the products and stuff, they just keep evolving, don't they? So when I was first become a mechanic, like, they didn't have that series. It was just, you know, you buy the yellow max speed and rods, coils, and that was it. You would buy the basic set, and then that was all. That was the brand was about, getting people into the coilover world for a budget price. That's what their brand is about, you know. But now they release these newer ones, and I've seen some people do reviews on them, and they're actually saying that they're good, and yeah, and they've actually ride surprisingly well. So what we're going to do is hopefully, you know, just ride on these for a bit. What we're going to do is then obviously later on we'll knock out this cup. This here gets loosened, and this whole fork piece, it gets separated from the shock, and obviously then the max speed and rods will go onto this fork, and then this gets saved, and then this goes to the bin. And yeah, so that's like another update. I keep doing little updates in between. Just thought that instead of just cutting it all, I'll show it, you know, as much as I can, much detail as I can. And yeah, just now keep track of the parts and don't lose the bolts, I guess. Otherwise we'll have a big problem. And yeah, what I'm gonna do now is just I'm gonna crack on with the other side, get it all out, and then the next cuts I'm gonna do is me removing the front end. Alright, cool. Just one more quick update. I thought I'd show this. Let me just get comfortable. I thought I'd show this because this is now the other side. This is now the driver's side. So all along I've been showing everything on the passenger side. So this is the side where the drive shaft is being completely cut in half. As you can see, it's over here. The drive shaft is obviously being cut and damaged, and where the caliper is missing as well. This is the side where we've got no caliper, and they've just cut the brake line, which is not good. I know we're going to be doing braided ones, but it's just annoying, isn't it? And the other wheel bearing was fine, but this one, it spins fine, it doesn't make no sound, but the problem is that it does this. Hang on, let's see if I can grip it better. I don't know if you can see or hear that. Let's see. There you go. There is actually play in that, and it's quite bad. So that is an example of a wheel bearing that we got unlucky with, and the other side would use, but this side we got unlucky, and yeah, I'm gonna have to get like an eBay special one or something, just to, you know, replace. So we're gonna use this the hub would be fine, but the actual wheel bearing we're gonna have to use the good old press at my friend's garage, and, you know, sort out that wheel bearing, and then yeah, and then bring the knuckle back, and then take the knuckle to his garage, press the bearing in, and then press the hub in, and then yeah, and then sort that out. But again, it's just extra cost, so we're hoping that we can keep getting lucky like we did on the other side, and not unlucky like we did on this side. Oh, even hitting it. There you go. That's the wheel bearing play. So yeah, it's proper finished. Right guys, so this is the driver's side now. All done, all cleaned out. We've got the lower arm off, got the shocks off, everything is just completely gutted now. It's just now we've got the in and outer track rod for the steering rack, and then what I'm going to do now is I'll loosen the bumper here already and got the arch lining out. I've got to take the arch line out on the other side. I'm going to take off this tray to get the engine in, and next thing is I'm going to be taking off the front bolts here for the grille, and then we're going to take off the bumper. I'll remove the headlights, and what we'll do is just make it just bare chassis ready for the engine to go in, and then we're going to start then attacking this area here after I've got the bumper off and cleaned it all up, and then yeah, going to start stripping all that, stripping all the bits around, you know, random bolts and stuff we don't need, and then start looking at how to drop this subframe. Right guys, so quick update, here's how I've been getting on. The whole front end has now been removed. I've removed the covers that was under here, the trays, and I've removed the fender on this side as well. I have loosened up all of these now. I'm still thinking about just keeping this here for now. It might be a good block to reuse. and then gonna get this out eventually, because we are gonna remove the pedals and stuff. The accelerator pedal can oh no, that's gonna have to get removed because I need to drive by. I'm probably gonna use the FN2 accelerator pedal, so we're gonna make up a bracket for that. And yeah, so remove all the pedals inside because we're gonna obviously need to get the brake pedal and the clutch pedal assembly, and yeah, and then the clutch obviously is gonna bolt through here. And then we're going to make the little line to it for the reservoir to go down to, obviously, you know, all across here down to wherever the clutch is. Might be able to make that as a braided line if I learn how to make braided lines. I've never tried, that's why I'm excited for this project, so obviously you have to give it a go. I've cut off all the old hoses for the heater matrix. I can blank these off. I don't know if I'm going to put water in there yet. Obviously it's just going to be a race car, so you know, I don't need hot. If anything, I'd like to have cold in there for the summer. You know, cold air flowing through, but this is not going to have aircon or nothing unless I have to custom make everything to put aircon in it. And again, aircon takes performance away. It's meant to be a race car, and obviously the only thing is if I drive it a bit further away out Reading for shows, then obviously that's only when it'd be needed. It'd be nice to have it, you know, but we'll just drive the windows down and the sunroof open, it'll be alright. And yeah, so let me just have a think. So yeah, that's all done here. These lines I'm ignoring because they come out, as you can see here, they go round. They go round to the steering rack, so this is all going to drop down. I think here, this is the exhaust down here. They've mangled it. That's how I bought the car. But here, I think I'm just going to cut it. I'm going to go underneath and just cut it off with angle grinder, because I'm not actually 100% sure if that's a cat or not. If that's a cat, then that's brilliant. I'll take it down to the scrapyard, and obviously they'll recycle it, and I can get some money for it. And I can put it back into buying the next bits for this, you know, or save up for the racing circuit, £400 thing they you know, the ECU chipping and stuff they need, and also the wiring harness. I think it was 400 quid, so I can put some money from that. If that's a cat, I can put the money towards that. But to be honest, right, I doubt the old owner will leave the cat for me, because, well, everyone will sell it, won't they? If this is just a shell, they took the engine, they took the cat, and they got some of their money back. So I highly doubt it, but I'm gonna look inside when I cut it out. Just look, the only reason why I want to cut it out is just so I can have more clearance under there, and just obviously when I drop the subframe, this is just going to be all swinging around and in the way, you know. So yeah, I'm gonna cut that down, and what else is there to have a look at? I have there's not much really. It's just obviously clearing up, and I just took the bumper off. Inside here, I've got round to show you guys. I have taken apart the join for the steering column. Let me get my phone in here so I can show you guys. So obviously this is the steering rack. It connects to the steering wheel. So right now I can move the whole steering wheel. This bolt was, obviously this is the top bit. This was up higher, but what it was, I loosened it and then just dropped it back down. But I loosened it to originally get the bottom join out of the steering rack here. So this is where I'm hoping I might have to transfer the steering rack onto the EG subframe. And if not, then I have a steering rack that already came with my EG subframe. So I'll figure out, I might just take this off completely, and I might just see if this spline here at the bottom, this spline in here at the bottom, it goes onto the rack for my EG steering rack, because I could just reuse them, you know. Because the truth is, they're both old, they're both used. I don't know which one's in better nick or not. And if neither work, then worst case scenario, we're going to delete power steering anyways. But obviously it would be nice to have power steering, just because it's just, you know, it'd be nice to, it just makes it easier for when I drive it around in the summer and stuff, and there's a day, you know, if I go out on it on the weekend or whatever. And but if it's going to be just a track or like for shows, and if I delete power steering, it'll be fine when driving it. It'll be just the problems when parking it, you know, it'll be a bit stiff. But give me a good arm workout, so yeah, we'll just go with the flow, you know. But yeah, we'll see how it goes, all lines up, and then and yeah, so yeah, we're gonna start getting ready now to cut out that exhaust and to drop that subframe. Hello guys, thank you for watching. So this is kind of end on a bit of a weird cut, because I've didn't want to make the video too long. Right now I'm sat at home editing on the fresh new laptop, which I will explain in the next video that I've just bought, because it's obviously a few days after that. I'm now editing and finishing the video, so I'm now actually cracking on with it, which is good because of this new laptop. And so end of this video, you will see I was talking about the join in part 2 of the what am I editing now? I'm editing part 3, suspension removal 2. So the next one will be subframe removal, and in that one I've got a massive section where I have the EK subframe and the EK steering rack, and then I have the EG steering rack and the EG subframe, and then I compare the splines. So you'll see me go into detail and how confused I get, and then in my brain you will see it clicking, you know. So here at this point of this video, I don't know, like, it's all a mystery to me. I'm kind of been seeing bits of the internet and then just kind of going back and forth and be like, oh, is this like the same I see on like the American guys? Because I keep going on about these fucking American people, but that's the only kind of like videos that are out there, like, that I'm seeing, you know, about in regards to K-swaps, because they're obviously really popular over there. But yeah, all of my stuff is not lining up to what I'm seeing on the internet. So a lot of the stuff I talk about is like I've seen, I've like read on forums, or like I've seen on the internet, and then when it comes to some reason me doing it on my own car, it's not what I'm expecting it to happen, if that makes sense. So yeah, a lot of my stuff has actually gone more smoothly, apart from the wiring and all that, which I have actually bought a whole new wiring loom for the vehicle off of eBay, and it's for an EK4, so I'm hoping it's going to be okay. It should be, because it's for an EK4. Well, I have an EJ9, but it's still an EK chassis. But again, that's going to be in the future. I haven't even like attempted to open the wiring loom and put it in the vehicle yet. I'm just editing all these videos, and yeah, just kind of now that I'm on it, none of the timeline, again, apologies for that, makes sense. But I'm actually pumping them out now. So yeah, you'll see next. That's why it's just randomly cut off from me being in the car 3 months ago to now being sat here in my living room editing it. But yeah, that's what's happened. I'm gonna do the join and talk about that. But yeah, just wanted to say, like, do an outro. Thank you for watching. I appreciate all the few people that have been subscribing. I know it's so early and no one actually knows about this channel. I'm not really promoting it. It's more of just a quiet thing. And if people ask, I tell them. And I'm just putting it on YouTube and just leaving it there, and just see what happens. And it's more for my boys, you know, when they grow up. But yeah, thank you very much. This is episode 3 of the EK20 project, and the next one I'll be releasing real soon, because I've actually edited the majority of the video for part 4 already, and I'm gonna just bang both of them out as quick as I can, and from there on we're gonna be pumping out videos. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it, and take care.